You think you're here to rescue a dog, but what if I told you they're the ones rescuing you? Imagine standing in front of a kennel, feeling a nudge to walk away. After all, you didn't plan to adopt today. But then, you lock eyes with a dog who's seen more of life's challenges than most people ever will. There's a quiet wisdom in that stare, a history of being lost, abandoned, and forgotten. And in that split second, something inside you shifts. It's like you're not making the decision at all. It's as if the universe, the dog, and your soul have all agreed. This was meant to be. What happens next? Well, that's the start of the real story. You bring that dog home, thinking you're giving them a second chance. But soon, you start to realize they're doing something profound for you too. You feel it when you're tired and stressed, and they gently rest their head on your knee, reminding you that you're not alone. They become the heartbeat in your home, a quiet presence that fills every empty space with love and purpose. But let me stop here for a second, because this isn't just about bringing home a cute dog. Rescue dogs are not just ordinary pets. These dogs have seen the world from the ground up. They've been through pain, rejection, and abandonment. They've walked through the fire and come out the other side, with hearts that are still open, still willing to love. And that's where the magic lies. The unseen magic that transforms not just their lives, but yours as well. Take a moment to think about the last time you truly felt seen. Now imagine being that dog, sitting in a shelter for days, weeks, maybe months, with nobody choosing you, no one even giving you a second glance. And then one day everything changes. You change their life with just one decision, by seeing what others missed. But here's the twist. The rescue isn't just one-sided. There's a shift that happens after adoption that no one talks about, but everyone feels. These dogs, they have an uncanny ability to reflect our own emotions back to us. Stressed out from work? That dog senses it and will nuzzle up beside you, wordlessly reminding you to take a breath. Feeling disconnected from the world? They'll pull you into the present with one playful leap or a goofy grin. You'll find yourself laughing at things that seemed so insignificant before, like how they wag their entire body when they're happy or tilt their head when they're curious. It's the smallest, most subtle moments that remind you life is happening right now. Let's talk about resilience for a minute. Rescue dogs know what it means to lose everything and still be willing to trust again. They come from all kinds of backgrounds. Some were left behind, some were never given a chance, and others never knew the warmth of a loving home. And yet, despite all of this, they still show up, ready to love, ready to give. Imagine living through that kind of trauma and still having the capacity to wag your tail at the sight of a new face. It's powerful, isn't it? Think about Max, a scrappy little mutt who was found wandering the streets. He was skin and bones, and his eyes were full of fear. He had clearly been abandoned, left to survive on his own. When Sarah adopted Max, he wouldn't even come near her at first. He stayed close to the walls, skittish and unsure, as if the world had taught him not to trust. But Sarah was patient. She sat on the floor with him, night after night, never forcing him to come to her but simply being there. One evening, weeks later, Max slowly walked over to Sarah, laid his head on her lap, and sighed. That sigh? It was as if the weight of the world had finally lifted from his tiny shoulders. Max had found his home. Now here's where the real magic happens. Sarah was going through her own struggles at the time. She had recently lost her job and was in the midst of a painful breakup. She was feeling lost, much like Max had been. But as she watched Max slowly learn to trust again, she realized she could too. His resilience gave her the strength to start rebuilding her own life. It wasn't just that Sarah had saved Max. Max had saved her too. This is what happens when you adopt a rescue dog. You're not just getting a companion, you're bringing home a teacher. They show you what it means to be resilient, to forgive, to move forward despite everything that's happened. They remind you that even when life knocks you down, you can always get back up again. Tail wagging, no less. And there's science to back this up. Studies show that just being around a dog can lower your blood pressure, reduce anxiety, and increase feelings of well-being. When you pet a dog, your brain releases oxytocin, the hormone that promotes bonding and reduces stress. In other words, that wagging tail isn't just good for the soul, it's good for your health too. But beyond the science, there's something more. Something that's hard to explain until you've experienced it for yourself. There's a deep, unspoken bond that forms when you bring a rescue dog into your home. It's a connection built on trust, healing, and a mutual understanding that life hasn't always been easy, but together it can be beautiful. It's about the little things, the way they look at you as if you're their entire world, the way they'll follow you from room to room just to be near you, the way they lean into your hand when you scratch behind their ears, as if to say, "Thank you for choosing me." And here's the thing. Every rescue dog has a story. Some have been lost, others left behind. But every single one of them has the potential to write a new chapter with you. It's not about their past. It's about the future you'll create together. The truth is, rescue dogs bring unseen magic into your life. They take the mundane moments and make them extraordinary. They turn a simple walk in the park into an adventure. They teach you to slow down, to appreciate the small things, to live fully in the present moment. And before you know it, they've changed you in ways you never expected. So what are you waiting for? That scruffy, hopeful dog in the shelter is waiting for you, ready to bring a kind of joy, a kind of love that you've never experienced before. You're not just adopting a pet. You're gaining a lifelong friend, a partner, a co-pilot in this beautiful, messy journey called life. And trust me, once you let that magic in, you'll never look back. They say dogs are a man's best friend, but a rescue dog? Well, they might just be your soul's greatest gift.